Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have another interesting episode for you guys, so make sure you go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So as y'all know, ESPN was mired in drama all throughout last year. It first started, or one of the biggest stories, I think it first started with the Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor saga, right? Her being recorded in the Orlando bubble, then that started, and then then Rachel Nichols ultimately was let go, and then Maria Taylor was there, and she wanted a bigger salary, something comparable to what Stephen A. Smith was earning, and then there was that drama, right? Then after that, Max Kellerman got booted from ESPN First Take, and that's the one that shocked everyone because we never saw this coming, at least those not inside the industry. I'm sure there was some people internally that knew this, and actually it turned out once that story broke and once we found out that Max Kellerman was being removed from ESPN First Take, there was all of these articles coming out that basically said that, listen, there was a lot of infighting that was taking place, and a lot of people said that, Stephen A. Smith, wasn't too fond of Max Kellerman for a good amount of time, and then Stephen A. Smith actually went on his media press run where he tried to address the issue because, it was such a firestorm, and he basically said that he was looking for the show to make a change for over the last 5 years. And, it just ultimately the executives decided that it was time to do that. And, Stephen A. Smith took a lot of criticism for that. And of course, it was a drama with Sage Steele. And by the end of all of it, when the dust finally settled, the network's ratings actually took a hit. Like it took a hit, especially after Max Kellerman was removed from ESPN First Take, right? It took a hit. But what we've noticed is that since covering all of that drama since over last year, we've noticed that a lot of people are really interested in ESPN ratings and any kind of drama surrounding that network. People are interested in it. You produce content like that, and a lot of people, want to hear about it. And now it looks as if that their Q1 ratings, first quarter ratings are out for 2022, according to sportsvideo.org. So we want to get into it and really let you guys know how ESPN actually did in the first quarter of this year. So let me get into the article. It starts off with the headline here. Ratings roundup. ESPN has its best Q1 since 2017. The article continues on. Ratings roundup is a recent rating news and is derived from press releases and reports around the industry. It continues on. ESPN's viewership up 40%. In prime time, ESPN's total daily viewership in the first quarter of 2022 was up 32% versus last year to an average of 812,000 viewers, P2 plus, the network's best for the first 3 months of the year since 2017. That the increase was even more pronounced in prime time, up 40% to 2.68 million viewers. In the target demos of adults 18 through 49, ESPN was up 23% in total day audience and led the second place network by 74%. In primetime, ESPN's audience in the demo grew 36%, and the advantage was more than double, up 111%, the next closest competitor. On the strength of weekday studio show lineup, ESPN averaged 600,000 viewers from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, up 20% over 2021 and the best since 2017. It continues on event programming. ESPN 2022 got off to a hot start with strong performances from cable television. Annually most watched 3 programs. The college football playoff semifinals and championship and Monday Night Football includes the inaugural week 18 doubleheader and the first ever NFL wildcard playoff game on Monday. And basically the article goes on to pretty much say, explain things further. So as you can clearly see, despite all of the drama that has surrounded the network, they have found a way to remain on top. ESPN has done an excellent job spicing things up and keeping things interesting and fresh. For example, First Take is a great example of this. Since the departure of Max Kellerman, First Take has seemed to opt for a more rotational type of cast, and I think the byproduct of that is that it has made things more interesting. For example, on Wednesdays, we have Mad Dog Russo, who has been a hit on the show. Just a few days ago, there was a big incident that happened in the United States, and he went on there and he gave a passionate monologue or statement or whatever, speech or whatever you want to call it about it. I'm sure that got a lot of ratings. Of course, they brought on JJ Redick, and since he's been on the network, he seems to have been a hit. A lot of people like him. I think a lot of people view JJ Redick as a great counterbalance to Stephen A. Smith, and I think a lot of people enjoy it when he goes back as Stephen A. Smith on basketball related issues. Of course, they have Kendrick Perkins, who's like a staple on the show. He comes on regularly, and now with their latest edition, and I don't know if it's official yet, but it looks like it most likely will be in the future because he is still a current player. It looks like Patrick Beverley may be the next, personality to be added to their roster. And since the arrival of Patrick Beverley, he has definitely stirred the pot. First, it started off with his comments, about Chris Paul and going at Chris Paul. That brought a lot of attention and it created a lot of conversation. To the point where a lot of NBA players started chiming in and going at him and blah, 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 blah. And then recently, there was the back and forth between Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Perkins, where Kendrick Perkins was going at him and saying, bro, listen, you're here going at Chris Paul and saying X, Y, and Z about him, but you're not going as hard as, at James Harden, who's your friend, and you're saying that he deserves a super. So all of these different things, in my personal opinion, I think makes for great TV. And of course, you have the main staple in Stephen A. Smith, who's there. So on a daily basis, we get to see Stephen A. Smith kind of battle all of these different personalities, and it makes for great TV. Hence the reason the ratings are up, right? This ensemble cast that they've put together has provided a platform where you're getting various opinions all the time. And in my opinion, I think it keeps things fresh. So finally, let me say this. I may have been wrong about Stephen A. Smith. I was one of the people that criticized him heavily for the way he treated Max Kellerman, and I still stand firm on those positions. I thought it was wrong the way Max Kellerman was being treated on live TV. I thought he was being, he was talking to him like as if he was his kid, and I thought that was extremely disrespectful, and a lot of times it was flat out awkward. I'm like, this is not how you talk to your co-host, but obviously there seemed to be some tension between the two of them. So I didn't like that, right? I also didn't like some of the disrespectful things that he had to say about various groups, the Shohei Ohtani comments that he made, obviously the comments that he made about the Nigerian players. I didn't like any of that, and I made my opinions crystal clear on that. So Stephen A. Smith, he definitely, he's not perfect. But in terms of the call that he decided to make to kind of go in a direction where he wanted to spice things up, it looks as if he made the right call after all, right? Because, after the show took his initial hit, viewership has gone up in a tremendous way. A lot of people are watching. So it looks like ultimately the guy knows what he was doing and he knows what he's doing. So kudos to him. You got to give credit where credit is due. So these are my thoughts and opinions on that. And what I want to know from you guys is, what are your thoughts on these latest reports?